Welcome to the Essential Keys to Starting a Facebook Ad Campaign the Right Way with Jan Ragnerud. That's me, janragnerud.com. Hey, listen, I get this a lot. And in fact, it deals with so much in advertising and on the internet. It's like, how do I get started with this stuff, right? And the most common mistake when it comes to Facebook ad planning is this: strategic planning. It's cool to get in there and dive into the cool tools and the shiny objects. We all heard about that, right? We know about it because we all do it, right? But really step back, get into strategic planning. So what do I mean by that? Well, here are some strategies, right? First of all, step one, research your audience. Do you truly know it? The classic demographics, the psychographics, technographics, right? And so we're talking about age, income, hobbies, interests, technology usage. All of that, we just want clarity on that, right? And this ties right into the idea of personas or avatars. Essentially, you're defining Bob and Kathy or Bob and Jane, right? Who is that audience? What did that group look like? And so we're talking about interests, as I said. We're talking about problems, but also we need to be clear on offers. That's the third thing. That audience, I've talked a lot about that already, the clarity on that, but also the next step. So if you're presenting something and it's an offer or a message or a piece of content, whatever it is, you always need a next step, an action to that path. And that tips right into the sales funnel. You need essentially a map. You need a map to really walk me through, or anybody who's helping you, that is internally to your organization or that is yourself, explain how the sales process works through that sales funnel. And you want to also look at the competition. You need to know the marketplace. It's not just about your audience. Understand and recognize competitors, definitely key, and that ties into how you are different and unique. Unique selling proposition, unique value proposition, USP, UVP, many acronyms here. They speak to the same thing. You don't want to just throw your hat in and say, me too, right? So that's very important. And of course, what problems do you solve and what solutions do you provide? So all of these tie into this notion of strategic planning. But it goes further than this, right? Because a close second to this is revenue drivers. Obviously any business owner, any executive wants to know, how am I doing with traffic, visitors, walk-ins, any and all of that. But how is it affecting my bottom line? What are the revenue numbers? So here's some things to think about. The 80-20 rule is an essential piece to this puzzle, because really, frankly, you can make a shift right now in not only planning out your ads campaigns, but really take another quick step back and say, what's working right now? For example, what's making money right now? What products and services brings the highest ROI? The idea of the 80-20 rule, of course, is the idea that 20% of your efforts will produce 80% of the output. That ties into business and life. You could really look at this in anything that you do. Just really as simple as look in your closet. When was the last time you used all those clothes that are in there? Probably not. 20% of those clothes are being used all the time, 80% just sitting there, right? Everything. Think about everything. 80-20 rule is an amazing, powerful leverage point for you if you do this right. And here's an example of things that are you have an opportunity to drop or stop. What do you not want to waste more time on? I'm talking business here, right? So if this is a product line that you're pushing and you're just wasting a lot of time and money on it and it's not providing the return, perhaps time to bookmark that, right? And tying to staff and resources in your organization. Perhaps look not only at the skill sets that exist right now and what they're doing, but what are they focused on? And is there somebody who's better exited out the door or placed somewhere else within your organization? Do you have the right powerful skill sets to be applied to these various efforts? And of course, today we're talking about Facebook ads, but it really applies to kind of a little broader organizational review to make sure that you come in the strongest here. And we talk about short-term and long-term goals, but really right off the bat, we're talking about starting Facebook ads and advertising. So what are those short-term goals just right now? And we're talking about 60, 90, 120 days, and what's working. So you're serving customers already. Let's talk about email subscribers. You may have that already, but it's an underused asset often because you don't know how warm it is, how well segmented it is. Really, what you're pushing out there could most likely be sort of self portraying, positive things about yourself, not about them. You don't know who's buying exactly, who's not. What does that list look like, right? And it's interesting. We talk about Facebook ads, but in truth, we have an opportunity here because not only can we tune that along the way, but really you can leverage that email subscriber list to upload directly into Facebook as a custom audience. Very, very powerful, and you'll get tremendous leverage because of the targeting, but also the click cost for that, as well as the conversions. But we'll talk about that later. Here's another one. What's working on your website and your sales channels in general right now? Kind of back to that 80-20. You want to leverage and take expansion on that leverage and really dig a lot deeper and then focus on that. And of course, this helps to define some of the copy and some of the messaging that we want to drive those ads towards. What can be used, for instance, custom audience uploads. This I mentioned, for the emails, of course. Can lookalike audiences be built? Lookalike audiences essentially is an algorithm that looks at your initial data set, and does very magical things in many ways because Facebook is then saying, hey, what is it that we have that's related to this data set? Well, you can build out a larger data set of hundreds of thousands or even millions here, but this is a great opportunity for you to target a related audience to your business. So again, what's your primary 90-day goal, right? We're talking short term here. So an example could be content amplification. You may want to do an increase of likes, right? There's strategies in the like campaigns that can be very helpful if you're brand new into this. Increasing likes not only helps the brand, but later when we have a targeted list, we can actually run ads against those likes that you built. Another one could be, hey, I want to drive more traffic and leads directly. Yeah, I want brand awareness built. I want to grow sales by X% from, product or service A, B, or C. So some various initiatives here, but we want to define what those goals are. And we don't want to do all of these, right? We want to focus on the biggest yield for your organization. And when we talk about your organization, we quickly, and especially socially and online, we talk about creatives and placement, right? The whole brand and messaging and positioning. And what message are you trying to send here? Copy and brand and offer images, all of this stands together. You don't want to have sort of a disjointed effort here. You want this to have clarity, but also be succinct, special, differentiating from your competition, and still lift your brand up. So, for instance, do you have images and stock photos ready to go? Do you know where to go to get that? Does it serve and support your message? And that message is going to be shown in sidebars, news feeds. You may have videos. You have the mobile opportunities here to run campaigns, and they can be all run together or separately. And of course, here's a big one. Those ads should be consistent and congruent with landing pages. So it's a nice unified flow from the first click to the last click, right? Do you have this? And do those landing pages work on desktop and mobile? We often see this, great work spent on the front end only to break on the back end. And we definitely don't want this. And when I talk about the back end, we also mean tracking here. So tracking and measuring, and that all the scripts are being set up, including, of course, building your own audience list from visitors to your website and also to funnels, because we can segment those as well. But I'm getting a little too technical here. I just want to kind of run this by you quickly. So this is a short video today, a short presentation, but I wanted you to learn from this before diving in too deep on any of these cool tools and things that you see online for a quick sort of placement of ads. Take a step back and think before action. This is a big one in my world, and it really helps, right? And answering this simple question: why are we doing this? Think about that. Why are we doing this? And if the answer is we want to grow revenue, great. what does that look like? A specific number, or is this a percentage, or is it some competitive number based on what you have heard? We want to be very specific about this and break that down further. So I hope this has really helped you. Again, not too heavy, not too deep here, but really this we hear all the time. And frankly, I wanted to put together this presentation so that you could learn from it and step back. And if you have any questions, of course, just go to jonrognerud.com. That's me, Jan Rognerud, and fire off a contact request, and we'll help you out. And thank you again, and have a great day, evening, or night. Thanks.